The phone rings. A family sleeps. Flames devour a home. By sunrise, 5 children vanish without a trace. You're about to enter a mystery that's haunted America for nearly 8 decades. A tragedy that defies explanation. A story of loss, obsession, and the relentless search for answers. Christmas Eve, 1945. Fayetteville, West Virginia. The air bites with winter's chill as smoke drifts lazily from chimneys. Inside the Sodder home, warmth and laughter fill every room. 9 of their 10 children are here tonight, their voices a joyful cacophony. You can almost smell the pine, feel the excitement crackling like the dying fire. The younger ones clutch new toys while the older kids fight yawns, waiting for bedtime. It's a perfect holiday scene. Until it isn't. Midnight comes and goes. Parents George and Jenny retire with baby Sylvia. The older children linger, too wired to sleep. Marion curls up on the couch. Upstairs, games continue. Outside, 2 boys brave the cold to feed animals one last time. A normal night. A happy night. Then the clock strikes 12:30. The phone's shrill ring pierces the silence. Jenny startles awake, heart pounding. She pads across the floor, nightgown whispering against her legs. The living room is still lit, curtains open, front door unlocked. Strange. Her children know better. She lifts the receiver. Laughter crackles through the line, cruel and mocking. A voice asks for someone who doesn't live there. Wrong number, Jenny says. The line goes dead. Unease prickles her skin. She closes the curtains, locks the door, retreats to bed. Sleep comes, but not for long. Thud. Something heavy lands on the roof. It rolls. Then silence. Jenny stares into the darkness, pulse racing. Just an animal, she tells herself. Nothing to worry about. She drifts off again, until the smell hits her. Acrid, choking, smoke. The house is on fire. Jenny grabs Sylvia, screaming for George. Flames roar up from below, racing towards the stairs. 2 older boys stumble down, coughing, hair singed. They tried to reach the others. Couldn't. 5 children are still trapped upstairs. The family bursts into the freezing night, breath clouding the air. And that's when the real nightmare begins. George sprints for the ladder. It's gone. He bolts to his trucks. If he can drive one close, climb up, break the windows. But the engines are dead. Yesterday they ran fine. Tonight, nothing. The rain barrel, frozen solid. He shouts their names into the inferno. Only the fire's roar answers back. Neighbors race for help, but this is Christmas Eve in a small town. The fire department is all volunteers. One calls another. Who calls another? By the time they arrive, 7 agonizing hours have passed. The home is nothing but embers and collapsed beams. George and Jenny wait, numb with cold and horror. They've stood barefoot in the snow since midnight, watching their world burn, hoping for bodies, hoping for answers. But the firefighters find nothing. Not one bone, not a single tooth. Officials quickly declare it an accident. Faulty wiring, they say. Death certificates are issued before the new year dawns. The Sodders aren't convinced. First contradiction, the lights. George and Jenny swear they were still on as the fire spread. If faulty wiring started it, shouldn't the power have failed? Second, the phone line. Weeks later, a repairman climbs the pole. It wasn't burned, it was cut, clean, deliberate. Third, the ladder. Days after, George finds it tossed down a distant bank. Fourth, the trucks. Both failed at the exact same moment. Both ran perfectly the day before. 3 things that could have saved their children. Gone, all at once. The word forms on their lips. Arson. But Jenny can't stop thinking about the bodies. 5 children. Not a single trace left behind. She conducts her own grim experiments. Tosses chicken bones into the oven. No matter how hot, they never turn to ash. A crematory worker tells her, even after hours at 2,000 degrees, bones remain. How could a house fire, cooler than cremation, leave nothing? It doesn't make sense. Then a bus driver comes forward. He claims he saw someone throwing balls of fire at the Sodder house that night. Months later, little Sylvia finds a strange can in the yard. A son on army leave recognizes it instantly, an incendiary grenade. It explains the thud, the roll, the fire starting on the roof. Faulty wiring doesn't throw grenades. Leads pour in. A woman at a diner swears she served the Sodder children breakfast the next morning. A hotel clerk insists 4 kids checked in with Italian-speaking adults. A car with Florida plates. Strangers seen watching the house days before the fire. George remembers threats. He was an outspoken critic of Mussolini in a community with many Italian immigrants. One man allegedly warned him, "Your house will go up in smoke. Your children destroyed." Theories swirl. Revenge. Politics. Abduction. Meanwhile, a local thief admits he stole tools from the Sodders that night. He also confesses to moving the ladder, cutting the phone line, but he swears he wasn't involved in the fire. Coincidence? Cover story? Both? The deeper they dig, the stranger it gets. George discovers an old insurance policy was quietly increased by a former associate. That same associate sat on the coroner's jury that ruled the fire accidental. A man with financial ties, political beef, and authority over the ruling. Conflict of interest doesn't even begin to cover it. The Sodders beg the FBI for help. J. Edgar Hoover himself responds, "Local matter, no federal jurisdiction." The family hires a private investigator. He uncovers bizarre rumors that the fire chief buried a box with remains at the site. When the family digs it up, it's not human, it's beef liver. The fire chief admits he planted it, says he wanted to give them closure. Closure is the one thing they'll never have. In 1953, 8 years later, the Sodders raise a billboard on Route 16. 5 faces stare at passing drivers. The words above. What was their fate? Kidnapped, murdered, or still alive? Tips keep coming. A photograph arrives, labeled Louis Sodder. The family hires another investigator to chase it. He disappears. Decades pass. George and Jenny never stop. They follow every lead, every rumor, every letter, until the trail runs cold. The simplest answer? They died in the fire and the remains were missed. The darker answer? They were taken, and the fire was the cover. Which is worse, losing a child, or never knowing what happened? For the Sodders, the fire destroyed their house, but the mystery destroyed their lives. And today, all that's left is a garden, a faded billboard, and one impossible question. What was their fate? 5 children vanished on a winter's night. Accident, arson, abduction, we may never know. But their story lives on, in whispers, in theories, in the chill that runs down your spine when you pass an old billboard on a lonely road. What happened to the Sodder children? The truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered. Maybe you'll be the one to find it. If you want more unsolved mysteries that will keep you up at night, hit that like button and subscribe. The truth is waiting. Are you ready to seek it?